Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to share a story with you. It's a simple one, about a boy, his dog, and a lunchbox. But sometimes, the simplest stories are the ones that stick with us the longest. Our story begins with Leo, a 10-year-old kid with a shock of messy brown hair and perpetually scuffed up sneakers. Leo wasn't a fan of school. The numbers in math class swam before his eyes, and the long words in his reading book felt like a secret code he couldn't crack. The best part of his day, every single day, was the final bell, because he knew who would be waiting for him. His name was Buddy. Buddy was a scruffy, golden brown mutt with one floppy ear and a tail that never, ever stopped wagging. He was more than a pet. He was Leo's shadow, his confidant, his silent partner in every backyard adventure. Every morning, as Leo trudged off to school, Buddy would sit by the gate, his head cocked, whining softly until Leo disappeared around the corner. And every afternoon, like clockwork, Buddy would be there. Not at the gate, but at the edge of the woods, right where the sidewalk met the dirt path that led to Leo's house. He'd be sitting patiently, his tail thumping a soft rhythm against the dry leaves. Leo would see him from a block away, and a grin would instantly spread across his face. He'd break into a run, shouting Buddy's name, and the dog would leap up, a whirlwind of joyful barks and frantic tail wags. Their reunion ritual was always the same. Leo would drop his heavy backpack, and Buddy would nudge his hand, his wet nose sniffing for any leftover treasures from lunch. Leo's mom always packed him a little extra piece of sausage, a few cubes of cheese, or the crusts from his sandwich. He'd carefully save these morsels in his bright blue lunchbox, the one with the rocket ship on it. He'd pop the latch, and Buddy would gobble up the offering in a single, happy gulp. It was their special moment, a pact between a boy and his dog. One particular Tuesday started like any other. Leo's mom packed him a peanut butter sandwich, an apple, and, as a special treat, 2 little meatballs. Leo's eyes lit up. He knew Buddy would go crazy for those. He carefully placed them back in the lunchbox after eating his sandwich, already imagining Buddy's happy dance. The school day dragged on. A surprise pop quiz in history, a long lecture about long division. Leo spent most of the time staring out the window, doodling pictures of Buddy in the margins of his notebook. When the final bell finally rang, he was the first one out the door. He clutched his backpack, feeling the reassuring bump of the lunchbox inside, and started his walk home. As he turned onto a street, he squinted, looking for that familiar, golden brown shape at the edge of the woods, but the spot was empty. Leo slowed his pace, confused. Buddy was never late. He scanned the street, up and down. Nothing. A little knot of worry started to form in his stomach. Maybe he just missed him. He walked to their usual meeting spot and called out, "Buddy, I'm home. I got meatballs." His voice sounded small against the rustling of the autumn leaves. He waited. The silence was heavy, broken only by the distant hum of traffic. The happy anticipation he'd felt all day was quickly turning into a cold, creeping dread. He ran to his house, bursting through the front door. "Mom, is Buddy ere?" His mom was in the kitchen, and she looked up, her expression worried. "No, sweetie. I let him out about an hour ago like I always do. I thought he was with you." The knot in Leo's stomach tightened into a painful fist. This had never happened before, but he always waited. He never wandered off. He dropped his backpack in the hall, the clatter echoing in the quiet house. "I have to find him," he said, his voice trembling. He ran back outside, ignoring his mom's calls to wait. He started retracing his steps, calling Buddy's name over and over until his throat was raw. He checked all their usual spots. The creek behind the park, the big oak tree they'd sit under, the neighbor's yard where Buddy sometimes chased squirrels, but there was no sign of him. The sun began to dip lower, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, but the beautiful colors only made Leo feel more alone. He asked everyone he saw. An old man walking his poodle, a group of teenagers on bikes, a woman watering her flowers. "Have you seen a scruffy, golden brown dog?" he'd ask, his voice cracking. They all shook their heads with sympathetic looks. "Sorry, kid. Hope you find him." Panic was setting in now. Tears pricked at the corners of his eyes, but he blinked them back. He had to be strong for Buddy. He couldn't give up. He decided to walk the main road again, the one that led from the school, thinking maybe Buddy had gotten confused and tried to meet him further up. He walked slowly, his eyes scanning every bush, every driveway, every shadow. His heart pounded with a desperate hope every time he saw a flicker of movement, only to have it sink when it turned out to be a plastic bag or a stray cat. The world was getting darker, and his hope was dimming with the light. He was almost at the big intersection, the busiest part of his walk home, where the cars rushed by in a constant stream. His mom always told him to be extra careful there. As he got closer, his eyes were drawn to a flash of bright blue on the shoulder of the road. His breath caught in his throat. He recognized it instantly. It was his lunchbox, the rocket ship 1. He ran towards it, his sneakers slapping against the pavement. He knelt down beside it. The plastic was shattered, twisted into a grotesque shape. It looked like it had been run over, crushed by something heavy. The latch was broken, and the lid was barely hanging on. With trembling hands, Leo pried it open. His heart was hammering against his ribs, a frantic, terrified drumbeat. He looked inside, his mind bracing for the worst, for the uneaten meatballs, for the final, heartbreaking proof that Buddy never made it. But the lunchbox was empty, completely empty. A wave of confusion washed over him, followed by a sliver of desperate hope. Empty. How could it be empty? He looked around wildly. Maybe Buddy had gotten to it. Maybe he'd grabbed the meatballs and then run off somewhere, scared by the traffic. Maybe he was lost, but he was okay. Leo stood up, clutching the broken pieces of his lunchbox. He called out Buddy's name again, his voice filled with a new, fragile urgency. "Buddy, it's me. I'm here." He scanned the dark woods lining the road, his eyes searching for a wagging tail, for 2 shining eyes in the gloom. But the only answer was the sound of the wind whispering through the trees and the relentless roar of the cars speeding by into the night. He stood there for a long time, a small boy on the side of a busy road, holding a crushed, empty lunchbox, waiting for a friend who was never coming home. The meatballs were gone, and so was Buddy. And in that crushing, silent emptiness, Leo understood that some things, once they're gone, are gone forever. Thanks for listening to this story with me today. It's a sad one, I know, but it's a powerful reminder to cherish the ones we love while we have them. If you were moved by this story, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content. I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.